afternoon. I'm Justin.
And I'm Erica.
We're two of the mental health professionals with Huts for Vets, and we're going to do some yoga similar to what you might experience or have experienced on the mountain with us. So thank you for joining us. First, Erica is going to lead us through a meditation, and all the way through this we're going to be talking about and focusing on our breath, of course. You know, it's a yoga practice. So many people think of yoga as being body stuff, and it is, but it's more breath.
So we're going to do a meditation using a mudra, and a mudra is just a hand gesture that helps to focus our attention and focus the energy in our body. So we're going to bring all 10 fingertips together, almost like you have a ball that you're holding there. So it's not pushed together like prayer pose, but more just like you're holding a ball. And then you can take that and relax that onto your lap. If at any point this is uncomfortable for you to be sitting straight up, you're always welcome to lay down or to stand up, but remaining with your 10 fingers in contact. So begin by gently either closing your eyes or gazing down, and start to tune into your breath at your low belly. So at this point, you don't need to change it or manipulate it. I just want you to tune into your breath at your low belly. And then noticing your breath as it fills up your rib cage. And then notice it as it moves in and out your nostrils. And then begin to tune into all 10 finger pads and notice the contact that they're making with one another. And then start to notice the right hand and the right fingertips. And as you do that, simultaneously notice your breath, how it fills your low belly. And then start to tune into your left fingertips. And just like on the other side, simultaneously tuning into your breath at your low belly and the left fingertip. And then start to notice your breath just in your right rib cage. And then begin to draw awareness to your left rib cage. And now tuning into your breath in your right nostril, noticing it come in and out. And then tuning into your breath at your left nostril. Really noticing the sensation of it moving in and out. And then bringing awareness back to all 10 finger pads, noticing the pressure of them in contact with one another. Noticing your full breath at your low belly. Notice how it balloons that part of your body. And then noticing your breath on both sides of your body and both sides of your rib cage. And then noticing your breath moving in and out of both nostrils. And bringing awareness to your full body, take a deep inhale in through the nose. An open mouth exhale as you release the mudra and let your hands just rest palms up on your lap. We'll just take a couple breath cycles here, just noticing how your body feels and your mind feels. And then holding on to all the feelings and sensations, gently flutter open your eyes or gaze up. And I will let Justin take over from here.
That was a great way to start.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to keep that kind of low energy going while focusing on your breath and moving into this child's pose with your knees spread wide, back on the back half of your mat, your toes touching, and then begin to bend forward. Go as far as you can with that. On your forearms is fine. Stretching all the way forward is fine. I'm going to sit up so I'm not talking down into the mat. So while you're here in child's pose, just come back into contact with your breath. Inhaling deeply, more deeply than you typically do. Exhaling fully. Just when you think you've exhaled everything out, exhale a little more. Go back through that cycle. It's a great time to start to push away thoughts, other things that might be impinging on your awareness. Just keep those slow breath cycles going, inhaling deeply, exhaling fully. Then from child's pose on an inhale, slowly slide forward, straighten your arms, push your palms into the ground, maybe your feet come back up, look toward the sky. Exhale back into child's pose. Do that again, inhaling forward. Exhale back. Do that 2 more times on your own breath. Come up to sit on your knees. Gonna sit with your spine somewhat erect but not real rigid. We're not looking for any military postures here. And we'll just start with some easy twists. So bring your left hand onto your right knee, your right hand behind you as a kickstand, and exhale and twist to the right. Inhale back to center. Exhale to the other side. Inhale back to center. One more time on each side. Exhale to twist. Inhale forward. Exhale, twist. Then bring your hands into that prayer pose. We're going to inhale, bring your arms out to the side. I really like the Jessica does this. And inhale, bring them in front of you. Or exhale, bring them in front of you, sorry. Inhale, Interlace your fingers, bring your arms overhead. Exhale, back to prayer. And we'll do that again since I messed up. Inhale, arms out to the side. Exhale, arms in front. Inhale, interlace, arms overhead. And exhale, back to prayer. Do a couple of side bends. So place your right hand on the mat or ground. Inhale, bring your left arm overhead. Exhale, back to center. Inhale to the other side. Exhale, back to center. Do one more of those each direction. Inhale, reach. Exhale, back. Inhale, reach. Exhale, back. So now come into a tabletop position. Your hands under your shoulders, your knees under your hips. We'll do a couple of those cat-cows. So on an inhale, you're going to look toward the sky again. Lower your belly, lift your tailbone, and exhale, push into the ground, round your spine. Do that a few more times on your own breath. Inhale, look up, and dip your back. Exhale, push into the ground, drop your head, round your spine. What cues am I missing?
Push through the shoulder blades, curl the spine, drop your head.
And when you're ready, come to a place of stillness, kind of centered there. Keep your left hand planted and your right knee planted. Extend your left leg back so your toes are at the back of your mat. And extend your right arm out in front of you. And you can stay right there, or you can lift your left leg off the ground. And wherever you are, keep those slow breath cycles going here. Just for 2 more cycles. Bring everything back to the mat. We'll do that on the other side, keeping your right hand planted. Right leg extends behind you. Left arm up. You can stay there or lift your right leg. Slow, steady breaths. Come back down. Okay. What's the best way to cue getting into down dog?
I like to push through the shoulder blades first,
Okay.
flip the toes underneath, and then start to lengthen your legs, sending your hips towards the sky.
Really like this stretch. Feel free to walk your dog by bending one knee and then the other. And really push into the earth here. Push yourself back. Maybe bending your knees a bit on an exhale and then extending them again. Feeling that lift in your tailbone. And we're slowly going to walk your way toward the top of your mat. And just hang out here in this rag doll, letting your head be heavy, your neck be long, maybe swaying side to side, holding opposite elbows maybe. Whatever feels good and gets you the best stretch in your hamstrings, in your spine, in your neck. And from there, we're slowly going to raise your arms, circle your arms overhead. On an inhale and an exhale, bring all that energy back into the center of your body. And then bring your arms down by your side for this mountain pose. And feel the 4 corners of your feet. Maybe swaying side to side, until you can come to a place of stillness where you're rooted. Maybe tip your pelvis so the tailbone is pointing down. Tuck your tummy. Shoulders are up and back. If it feels awkward, you're probably doing this exactly right, because so much of the time we spend in these really hunched positions. So here we're just trying to open up and be like the mountain behind us. And again, come back to your breath. Inhale more deeply than you think you do. Exhale more fully than you often do. Straight into sun salutations. Okay. So on your next inhale, we're going to circle your arms up overhead again. And exhale, bring that energy slowly down toward the ground. Inhale into a halfway lift with your hands on your knees or your shins, your back flat or close to it. Exhale your hands back down to the mat and step back so that you're in this plank position. Inhale, shift your weight forward just a little bit. Exhale, bend your elbows to 90 degrees or so. Inhale, shift forward and look up. And exhale, push back into that down dog. In down dog, just take a few breath cycles. And then again, we're slowly going to walk your feet up toward the top of the mat and meet in that halfway lift. Inhale fully. Exhale back with your hands toward the mat. Inhale, circle your arms up overhead. And exhale, bring them back down into this mountain pose. Should we do another one or move on?
Yeah.
Okay. Go?
Sure.
Go ahead.
So inhale, sweep your arms up and overhead. And exhale, bring your hands through heart center, folding forward, hands towards the ground. Inhale, lift up just halfway. And exhale, fold forward, stepping your feet back, coming into a high plank position. As you inhale, move forward. And exhale, lower down halfway. Inhale, coming up. And exhale, downward facing dog. Big breath in. And big breath out. And just taking a few breath cycles here.
Nice. We'll walk your feet back up. Erica's much more graceful at that than I am. Meeting in that halfway lift again with your hands on your shins. Exhale, hands back toward the mat. Inhale, circle arms up overhead. And exhale, back to heart center. Should we do some Anjaneyasana or move
Sure.
into Warrior Two?
Warrior two.
Okay. Okay. So from here, I was just stepping back. I wasn't doing a sun salutation. Okay. So from here, we're going to keep your left foot planted. Step your right leg back so that your foot is kind of parallel to the back edge of your mat. And we're going to move into that Warrior Two pose that most people know by bending your left knee toward 90 degrees, but of course it doesn't have to get there at all. And your arms out front and back. And widen your stance as much as you need to here, as much as feels good, so that you're getting a really good stretch there. Strengthening and stretching at the same time. Keeping those breath cycles going. I like to focus on rolling my right foot out because it has a tendency to kind of collapse in. Keep that breathing going. In your next inhale, going to straighten your left knee, reach forward, and then exhale. When you can't reach forward anymore, dropping your left hand to your shin or your knee, or maybe all the way to the mat, and lifting your right arm toward the sky. It's triangle pose. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, sink down into that warrior two again. This time bring your left elbow to your left knee and swing your right arm up above your head, palm facing down with a side angle stretch. Erica, do you offer modifications for taking this deeper or not usually?
Not usually.
Not usually, okay.
Yeah. I guess if you want, you could do a little bit of a bind, a half bind, or then try to grab hands here if you want to go deeper, but this is usually enough of a stretch for most people.
It is for me. We'll come back up. Exhale, sink into that warrior two again. And inhale, straighten your left leg one more time. Bring that right arm down your right leg or behind your back. Left arm overhead for a reverse triangle. Come back forward. Step your right foot to meet your left. I'll go through that all on the other side. So keeping your right foot planted, step your left foot back. Again, parallel to the back edge of your mat. Bend that right knee, right leg, toward 90 degrees. Arms stretched out front and back. Warrior two. When I'm doing this at home, I'm usually timing it, but in terms of number of breaths. I'm not really doing that here, so I'm maybe not doing this equal. So inhale and straighten your right leg while reaching forward, and then exhale, drop that right hand, raise your left toward the sky. Back up on an inhale. Exhale, sink back into that warrior two. Bring your right elbow or forearm to your right knee. Your left arm up and overhead, palm facing down. Come back up to standing here. Sink into warrior two one more time. Maybe a little further than you have before. Then straighten one more time. Bring your left arm down your left leg or behind your back. Right arm up overhead. For a side stretch, this reverse triangle. Back to the top of your mat. Step your left foot forward. Let's move into tree pose.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do that. All right.
Go ahead.
So we'll do a balancing posture that can really help us like tune in mindfully to our body and to our positioning. So we're going to start by really grounding down into the right foot. So Maybe even act like you're stepping up onto a ladder and then stepping down so that your foot is firmly on the ground. Then start to lift your left leg up. And now you can either bring your foot to the inside of your right ankle or up to your right calf, or you can bring it up to the inner thigh. But I am gonna stay right at my calf today. Now I really want you to focus on that right standing leg. And then find one point of focus to stare at. This is called the drishti, single point of focus, which can help our balance. And if you really want to challenge your balance, you can close your eyes, because we don't always recognize how much we use our sight to balance, and see what happens. Ooh. A little bit more challenging. When you're ready, you can open your eyes, turn that knee forward, and then set that left foot down, kind of shake out, roll out your right foot, your right leg, and then we'll take that on the left. So stepping up as though you're on a ladder to try to keep your hips straight, because it's easy to, once we step up and put our leg up, we kind of tilt our hip, push our hip out to the side. So we want to keep it straight as best as we can, and then bring your foot to the either inner ankle, calf, or thigh. Bring your hands into heart center and find that one point of focus.
It's so interesting that I lose my balance when I don't have that point of focus.
Yes. And then just like the other side, if you're feeling like you want to take it a little bit further with your balance, you can always try closing your eyes. Whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes again. Start to turn that knee forward, and then setting the right foot down, shaking out the left. All right, and then kind of shaking out your body, letting all of that go. All of the self-judgment that can come up with balancing postures, you can just let that go. All right.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
So let's bring your feet, open your feet kind of wide at an angle toward the top of your mat. I'm going to, on an inhale, circle your arms overhead. And on an exhale, I'm going to squat down with your elbows inside your knees for this yogi squat. Just keep pushing your elbows out and your knees against your elbows.
In this posture, really notice what's happening in your hips, because it's easy to just kind of sink in, which can be a little bit painful on the hips, so try to keep just a little bit lifted.
From there, bring your hands back down to the mat. We're going to step back into that child's pose. And Erica is going to lead us through some other movements here from child's pose. And before she does that, just take notice of how this might feel different than the very first time. Maybe there's some more opening, maybe not.
So for this part of the class, and I'll be sitting up just so that I'm not speaking into the mat, we're going to hold postures longer. So with this, if you feel sharp pain, that sort of thing, always just back out of the posture, and you can take Shavasana, which is just lying on your back, because as a teacher of both Justin and I's, Jessica Patterson says the most advanced practice you can do is the one where you're consciously breathing. So no matter what your body's doing, if you're not feeling it, you can just always lay on your back and breathe consciously. So now we're actually going to hold child's pose for a little bit longer, a few more breath cycles, because I want this to be a time to kind of tune back into your body and tune back into that conscious breath. So notice your hands in contact with the mat, and your knees and your shins in contact with the mat, maybe your forehead, and then tune into your breath in your low belly. And then tune into your breath at your rib cage and the sides of your body. And then tune into your breath as it travels up and down your spine. Really allowing that inhale to fill up the backside of the body as well as the front. And take 3 more breath cycles here, filling up as deeply as you can and exhaling as fully as you can. And then when you finish your 3rd breath cycle, you can come up to hands and knees, tabletop position. And then we're gonna thread the needle from here. So you're gonna lift your right arm up towards the sky and then slide it under your left arm, bringing your right ear and shoulder to the mat and breathing deeply into that left side of the body. And just like we did in child's pose, start noticing your breath in all the different parts of your body. So noticing it in the low belly, the sides of your body. Notice it traveling through up and down the spine. Take 3 more breath cycles here at your own pace, filling up as fully as you can and exhaling as completely as you can. And once you've finished that 3rd cycle, you can untwist your arm, lift it up towards the sky again. Set it back down, coming into tabletop, and we'll just move through some cat-cows to reset the spine after that. And then come back to a neutral spine. We'll take it on the other side, lifting the left arm up, sliding it under your right arm, bringing left ear and shoulder to the mat. And then just like you did on the other side, start by really noticing that right side of your body. Notice that filling up with air. And then before you start to really tune into the other parts of your body with your breath, I want you to tune into the parts of you that are in contact with the mat. And kind of re-ground yourself even in this awkward posture. And then start to notice your breath once again in your low belly. And the sides of your body. And the back of your body, really noticing it traveling up and down your spine. Taking 3 more breath cycles here. And after your 3rd breath cycle, you can start to unwind and bring that left arm straight up. Set it back down, coming into tabletop and moving through some cat-cows to reset the spine. All right, we'll come back to that neutral spine. And then from here, we're gonna take a runner's lunge. So I'm gonna have you step your right foot on the outside of your right hand, flip your left toes underneath you and kind of wiggle that foot back to where it feels comfortable. And you can either stay lifted with that foot active, or if you want a more passive stretch, you can release your toes, let them rest on the top of your mat. And then again, you're welcome to stay just like this. This is enough of a stretch for most of us. If you are really open in the hips and want to go deeper, you can always try to come down to your forearms. And while you're here, I want you to notice what other parts of your body might be trying to get involved right now. So sometimes our jaws start to get involved and clench up. And if that's happening, just take a few open mouth exhales. And maybe even just separate your teeth out so that they're not touching. And then notice if your shoulders are trying to get involved and maybe try to relax those a little bit. And then wherever you're feeling the most sensation in your body, I want you to really focus all your mental attention there as you breathe deeply. And at any point, just a reminder, if it's too intense, you're welcome to back out of it, lay down on your back, or if you like child's pose, take child's pose. But we'll hold this for 3 more breath cycles. And then from here, I want you to flip your left toes underneath you, step your right foot back to meet your left. And then we're actually going to lower all the way down to the mat before we take it on the other side. And then you can bring your hands underneath you and bring either your right or your left cheek to the mat. And while you're here, I just want you to take a moment to tune into your body and notice your right side versus your left side. And the right side might feel a little bit looser in the hips and the legs. And then notice your upper body versus your lower body. Just tune into where there's still a bit of tension or where there's a little bit of softening that's happened. And then from here, you can push yourself back up, coming into hands and knees, tabletop position. And then we're gonna take it on the left side. So step that left foot forward, flip your right toes underneath you and scoot that foot back. And then again, you can keep it active or you can rest and let your tops of your toes lay on the mat. And then you're welcome to stay here or come down to your forearms. Just notice again what other parts of your body might be trying to get involved, and try to find a little bit of softening in those areas with each exhale. Or Or notice if your mind is starting to wander. Sometimes that happens when we're sitting with discomfort. And instead of judging yourself for it, just gently bring your awareness back to your body and back into your breath. And we'll take 3 more breath cycles here. After that 3rd breath cycle, you can flip your right toes underneath you, step your left foot to meet your right, slowly lower all the way down to your belly, and then just like before, just take stock of your body. Notice how it feels, right side and left side, upper body, lower body. And take 1 more full breath cycle here. Deep inhale through the nose. And open mouth exhale, sigh it out. And then from here, we're just going to flip over onto our backs. And I'm going to stay kind of sitting up so that you can still hear me as I talk. But we're going to take a twist. So I want you to bring both feet to the mat. And then you're going to tee out your arms, or maybe goalpost your arms with your elbows bent if that feels more comfortable. And then you're just going to drop your knees over to the left. And then turn your gaze to the right. And we're going to hold this for several breath cycles. So continuing that practice of noticing your breath at your low belly. And then your rib cage and the sides of your body. And then the back of your body and your spine. Again, if your mind is getting active, just gently bring your awareness back to your breath, maybe even counting your inhale for 4 counts and exhale for 4 counts, just to give your brain something to chew on. Take 3 more breath cycles here at your own pace. And when you've finished that 3rd breath cycle, bring your knees back up to center, feet back to the mat, head to center, and then just gently lift your hips and set them back down again just to reset them. And then we'll take that on the other side, letting your knees drop to the right, tee or goalpost your arms, and gaze to the left. And once again, just really tuning into your breath at those different parts of your body, the low belly, the sides of the body, the spine, the back. Just taking your time, noticing your breath in those places. Taking 3 more breath cycles here at your own pace, really deep inhales and long exhales. Maybe even see if your exhales can be a little bit longer than your inhales. And after that 3rd breath cycle, you can bring your knees back through center and your head to center. Gently lift your hips and set them back down again. And then just bring one hand to your heart and one hand to your belly. And breathe deeply, pushing into your hands through using your breath. And just tuning back into your body, noticing how it feels. Noticing how your mind feels. And then squeeze your knees into your chest and gently rock side to side, massaging your low back. And then making yourself as small into a little ball as you can, holding it for just a moment. And then exhaling, releasing to Shavasana, where you're just laying flat on your back if that's comfortable. If you have lower back pain, sometimes it helps to bring the soles of your feet to the outside edges of the mat and let your knees knock in to support the low back. And just take a deep inhale in through your nose. And open mouth exhale, empty your lungs completely as you sink into the mat. Noticing the points of contact in your body and the mat and letting those just get heavy. And do that 2 more times at your own pace, really filling up as fully as you can. And then exhaling as completely as you can, really sinking in deeper into the mat, into the ground, and feeling the ground supporting you. Your last round of that, I just want you to let go of any efforting, any even manipulation of breath or trying to elongate your breath. Just let it slip back into its natural rhythm as you slip into Shavasana. So begin to notice all the parts of your body that are in contact with the ground. Begin to reawaken your body, wiggling fingers and toes. And then making circles with your wrists and ankles. Reaching your arms up and over your head, taking a full body stretch. Drawing your feet to the mat, bending your knees. And then whichever way your body kind of wants to fall to, let it fall to that side. Coming into seed pose, posture that follows all of our Shavasana, where we allow the seeds of this practice to take root inside of us. And then from here, you can gently push yourself back up to a seated position. And Bring your hands into heart center. And exhale completely. Take a deep inhale in through the nose. Take one more sip of air. Open mouth exhale, sigh it all out. Namaste.
I just want to mention that if you like these practices, check out Veterans Yoga Project for some free classes. They have them listed by type of class and by length. You can get some great practices there. In the meantime, we'll see you on the trails. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all.